back to Crimetober. Tonight's case takes us to a devastating story about a 19-month-old who disappeared in the middle of the night and will be found deceased a few weeks later. This heartbreaking story is about 19-month-old Nima Louise Carter. Nima Louise Carter was just 19 months old, and she lived with her family in Lawton, Oklahoma in 1977. She was the youngest of 4 children, very playful and happy, and had her whole life to live. I mean, 19 months old, y'all. That is a baby to me. That is a baby. But on the night of Halloween, Nima's parents would wake up to find that their child had disappeared, and it would send them down a rocky journey. So on the night of Halloween, 1977, they tucked their beautiful baby girl into bed and go off about their night. When they would awaken on November 1st, 1977, they would find Nima not inside her crib. Now, the strange thing about this was there was no forced entry, no broken windows, no doors left unlocked or open. So who came into their home? Someone that came into the house had to do so very quietly and take Nima out of her crib. Her disappearance shocked the community, as rightfully so. A 19-month-old baby disappearing around Halloween, very strange, very odd, especially if you are saying you did not have anyone break inside your home. Who could have possibly taken Nima? A month later, they would get the most devastating news that any parent does not want to hear, that they have found their 19-month-old. And the crazy thing about this is she was 4 blocks away, y'all. 4 blocks away from their house. Some little boys were playing in abandonment houses. You know, when you're a kid, you see abandonment houses, you play in them, and they end up finding Nima inside a refrigerator. Now, they do the right thing and they go get an adult, and the adult calls law enforcement. The horror of this discovery literally rocked their town, because who would put a 19-month-old baby inside of a refrigerator in an abandonment home? Now, investigators quickly began to talk to a 15-year-old by the name of Jacqueline Roubideaux, who was a babysitter for the Carters. She was a suspect in the case because she had taken Nima outside the home one time, and when the parents caught her without permission, she said that she was just playing. And being as though there was another case that matched Nima's case a year before, it made it very questionable. So check this out. In 1976, a year before Nima disappeared, 3.5-year-old twins Mary and Tina Carpenter were brought to an abandonment house. And guess by who? Jacqueline. She would convince them to come into an abandoned house and stuff them inside a refrigerator. What kind of weird shit was this 15-year-old on? Because, excuse me, and at that time, she had to be like 14. So Tina would survive, but unfortunately, Mary did not survive this incident. So Tina would testify against Jacqueline in her trial in 1983. She was sentenced and would spend the rest of her life in prison. So basically, she got life. Now, Jacqueline did die in 2005 due to lung cancer, but she never confessed to the murder of Nima. But law enforcement had their suspicions that she was the one responsible. And as I began to read, it said that Jacqueline's parents never kind of strayed away from the things that she did, because they had found that she, 2 months before Nima disappeared, she had poisoned their family dog. Now, Jacqueline's father had his doubts about the death of Nima, but the strange thing about it is, as I was reading, like, something was wrong with their child, because she poisoned the family dog and she vandalized the house. And it's like, I don't know. It's like some people just don't want to admit that sometimes, you know what, your kid has done something terrible. And I know it hurts, but you have to accept the reality that some of these kids do bad things. And that's just what it is. But like I said, despite the similarities, Jacqueline was never officially charged with Nima's death. And she basically, like I said, served her time and died in prison from the murder of Mary in the twin situation. So to this day, Nima's case is still unsolved, but most people believe that it was Jacqueline, because who else would have done it? You know, that was around the family, and kind of adds up to another case that she did. So it's like, It's not clicking, Stephen. Nima's case is one of the darkest to hit Oklahoma, and it's very unfortunate that they would never get the answers as to why whoever took Nima, especially if it was Jacqueline. It's like, why did you do it? But it was a life cut very short. 19 months old is not a lot of time on this earth. And it's so sad for her family that they would have to even experience something of that magnitude. And as I sit here and think like, dang, you open your home to people, they think that you can trust, and then you do that to me. Because 9 times out of 10, she did that shit. I'm sorry, she did that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you do that to me, I open my motherfucking house to you, and you do me like that. It's crazy. Like, I would lose my marbles, y'all. I would lose a gasket. But what do you think? Do you think that Jacqueline should have been tried for the death of Nima, or do you think that someone else did it? Me personally, I think Jacqueline was fully responsible. It just adds up. She tried to take the baby outside without permission. Who else knows the home better than anyone else, being as though you have babysat for this family on multiple occasions? It's just, yeah. And then you were tried and charged for unaliving one of the twins in a similar case at an abandonment house and a refrigerator. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. To me, she's it. There's no one else. Like, she did it. But I do hope that the family has made peace in all of these years, being as though it happened in 1977. And Halloween night, like, you put your kid to bed and then you don't see them in the morning. My heart. But drop your theories down below, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Wow, a whole week, y'all. We did it. Let's go.